Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, mostly gentlemen apparently, and today we're going to be having a look at Ubuntu Budgie 19.10, Eoan Ermine, and this is a very incremental update, as is the theme with most of the Ubuntu releases as of October of 2019. I have a few thoughts and a few notes on this. I wouldn't even call it a young and fledgling distro anymore, because Ubuntu Budgie has been around for quite a few Ubuntu cycles now. And as much as I personally think the Budgie desktop has kind of stagnated in its development, there are still some exciting things here that I am looking forward to again seeing in Ubuntu 20.04. So as it stands, I believe the Budgie desktop is at 10.5, and there are some interesting features and stuff that they've kind of packed in, but I will get into that in just a moment. So what does Ubuntu Budgie 19.10 hold for us? Let's check it out and we'll see what we can find. Like Ubuntu Mate, I really appreciate how the Ubuntu Budgie team decide to use a welcome screen. This is what you are greeted by, and what looks really similar to the Mate welcome screen. I appreciate that because it builds consistency across the Ubuntu family, and honestly I feel like every Ubuntu spin should have something like this. Now, the reason that I like this particular rendition of it, and I'll spend just a couple moments here at the start, is because it actually builds in some really useful stuff into a welcome window. It's not just there for the sake of it, it actually does build some functionality into the desktop. So first of all, it gives you a really brief introduction as to what sets Ubuntu Budgie apart, where it comes from, and all of the other partners that make the project possible, which is, I think, important. Also, then it starts to unpack the reason why you would want to use Ubuntu Budgie in the first place, which I am going to briefly refer to right now, because I think this is actually a fascinating positioning of the Ubuntu Budgie spin as opposed to all the other ones. If we look at Ubuntu, the normal 19.10 release, you can go and check out my review on that, or at least part 1, part 2 is still coming. If you notice how that works, that is an Ubuntu flavor that is very much driven by GNOME and the workflow that GNOME has. Ubuntu has their own little spin on it, but the interesting thing with Budgie is that Budgie's whole purpose as a desktop was to give a more modern flavor of a traditional desktop paradigm. So there will be comments back and forth about whether GNOME as a workflow is your thing, but for those who wanted something that was built on modern GTK technologies, they wanted to have something that also had a very traditional user interface. So kind of think of this as sort of a younger, more hip version of what Ubuntu Mate is trying to do. I don't know if that really connects, but anyway, we'll run with that. Now, here's what I want to get to with some of the functionality that's built in here. First of all, we have the ability to install just from this welcome screen your own browser of choice, and they provide you with pretty much every option under the sun, including snap versions and native installs of most of the browsers there that are in the repos. Now, they do use snap ones if of course it's going to be a bit too much hassle to get that happening in native repositories. Now, they point you in the direction of the Budgie desktop settings, which I'm going to get back to in just a moment. And then they also point you in the direction of the greater GNOME system settings, which looks very familiar if you've ever run a GNOME-based distribution. It is an interesting balance and potentially a disconnect between system settings and Budgie desktop settings, but chances are the sort of people that are using Ubuntu Budgie know what they're looking for. Now, post-installation section I think is very helpful. Here's why. Because, and Ubuntu Mate does this really well as well. They prompt you to look for updates and also to install restricted extras. And Ubuntu Mate, I think, takes this one step further and gives you pointers on how to enable encrypted DVD and Blu-ray playback as well, which these ones don't, but it's not too far away. They also tell you that if you need drivers, this is where it will show up, and it actually goes to the trouble of explaining the difference between proprietary and open source drivers, which I think is really helpful. You can go then and install your language packs, or if you need more complicated inputs for different language supports, you can do that from here as well. Going into recommendations, I love these little things that they throw in here. Dropbox. I want to point out a key feature that the Ubuntu Budgie team have integrated into the Budgie desktop, and that is Dropbox. Dropbox nowadays is very picky with the distributions that it supports and the file managers that it supports. One of the key distinctions that Ubuntu Budgie makes in the way that it handles its desktop is that it uses the Nemo file manager from Cinnamon, or from the Cinnamon project and from the Linux Mint project and others, rather than the default GNOME files or Nautilus. They do this for a few different reasons, but most of it boils down to how much functionality is built into the file browser out of the box. This means that they actually have to pay a bit more attention to how well Dropbox as a cloud file syncing service integrates with the Nemo file manager. So they've actually gone and put in a fair bit of work to make sure that it works and runs well. Okay, the other thing is obviously they do have a Backports repository, meaning that in the future, if they have more up-to-date features that they will work on during or between releases, they have a repository where they will backport some of those features to older Ubuntu Budgie releases. And this has implications for whether or not you should run this one or the LTS release, and I'll get to that hopefully towards the end. Okay, so we have a few other one-click install tweaks here, which I really appreciate. Again, we're looking at Flatpak integration that you can do with a pretty easy click there, and also it gives you the option to install a sharing feature. So basically, if you want to be able to share a folder on the network within the Nemo file browser, out of the box, Nemo doesn't support that, but they will very easily enable that for you if you so choose. They obviously explain Snap a little bit, and they've already installed it for us. Okay, now when it comes to default settings, again, this welcome app just keeps going deeper and deeper, and I really appreciate it, because otherwise, if you're coming in as a new user, you might not know all of the options that you have available to you. Again, really love the fact that you get a graphical tool to choose between switching appearances. So when it comes to applying a new theme, you literally just have to click Install Theme and apply it straight here from the Welcome menu. Really appreciate that, because for somebody who just wants to get busy with whatever it is they do with their desktop, and they don't want to be sitting around meddling around with GNOME tweaks and other tools, then this is really helpful. All right, when it comes to installing software, again, we're stuck here for a little while, but there's a reason for it. This is the place that you go. The Welcome app is the place to go if you want to extend the Budgie desktop functionality. I think a lot of people, and by a lot, this is purely anecdotal, I don't have data to back this up, but when people see the Budgie desktop, they kind of think that it's locked down in a very similar way to the way that the GNOME desktop is, in that you kind of have to get down and dirty with package management and with GNOME tweaks in order to make anything, customize it the way that you want. The amount of Budgie applets are slowly building out, and they have a few custom ones that they've added to the Ubuntu release. I'm going to see if I can find them here in just a moment. So they've got a lot of really helpful, useful little applets that you can add to the desktop. And a lot of these are pretty simple. Like if you want a calendar built into the top clock here, very similar to how it is on GNOME, you simply say yes, it will apply the changes for you. It'll bring in a third-party repository if need be. Usually that will be the Backports repository, I believe, and it'll just tick away and apply those changes for you. Some other new ones that have landed in the 19.10 release cycle is the fuzzy clock applet. So if you want to change this to kind of the way that you would say the time if you were asking a friend what's the time, then you can go ahead and use that. There's a global menu applet, which I really appreciate, and I would love to see the heads-up display menu. Anyway, so I'm not going to spend too much longer here, but you get the idea. Lots of great applets there. Go check them out. I did want to point out that the window switcher has been rewritten to be a lot faster. It's based on the Vala programming language now instead of whatever it was before, so it's a bit more responsive. And a few other new things just that are important to this release are that they've got some custom wallpapers now as opposed to just the stock Ubuntu ones. And obviously you get the latest kernel and the latest NVIDIA drivers on the ISO, as is the case with all Ubuntu 19.10 releases. Okay, so that is an awful lot of stuff that is just packed into the welcome screen. It might be a little bit exhausting, maybe, but we're just going to keep rolling with it anyway. Some of the important things that distinguish the Budgie release as a modern release is that they've had things like scaling for high pixel density displays for quite some time. They've got a pretty robust notification setting system where all your notifications will stack up. You can add and remove applets from the Raven sidebar here to give you quick controls over most things that you'd want with your desktop. And bear in mind that a lot of these things work best with mouse and keyboard. There's absolutely no consideration here for touch or any other input methods. Harkening back again to what I said about Budgie being about a traditional desktop paradigm as opposed to anything hybrid or fancy. So the only other updates worth mentioning with the 19.10 release specifically is that a lot of work has gone into obviously making sure that the Budgie desktop works really well with GNOME 3.34.1, which is obviously the GTK backend for everything Ubuntu related for this release cycle. Okay. Oh, and that means that smooth animations with Mutter and stuff like that are also here as well, and they're all working really lovely. Now, I want to as I kind of start wrapping up some thoughts around this, there are all kinds of little details that I want to point to as an argument for why Ubuntu Budgie is a more modern, a more up-to-date, I guess, desktop in terms of what a lot of current desktop users appreciate. Now, Ubuntu Mate is very close to my heart. I love that project. I'm running it right now. I love it. But there are some things that I think Budgie gives an edge on an older desktop environment, or at least one that is based on older technologies. So first of all, when it comes to how flexible the side panel is here, I feel like this is a really powerful tool, and desktop users can benefit an awful lot from having controls and notifications consolidated in one place. I think that's just a really cool concept that Budgie has brought to the table. And this is nothing new. I'm just kind of talking about Budgie as a general desktop environment right now. When you start digging through the Budgie desktop settings, you're going to notice some really, really thoughtful ideas here. So first of all, attaching Modal Dialogues to Windows. That's when you get a pop-up that asks you to confirm something, or maybe it's a save file or something like that, and you have the option whether you want to anchor that to the parent window behind it, or whether you want to be able to drag the windows around underneath it. It's just a nice usability tweak that to have it right here visible for you to change without breaking stuff is really helpful. Also, disabling Nightlight while apps are in full screen. So for example, if you're watching a movie full screen, or if you're editing a photo full screen, you can actually come in here, turn this setting on so that the orange tinge, or the sort of the redshift tinge that will effect that happens to kind of help you wind down at the end of the day, they'll actually fade that back so that you have proper accurate colors for the movie or the photos or the game that you might be playing. Again, really thoughtful idea here. You can choose whether you want to center new windows in the middle of the desktop, or whether you want them to kind of tile intelligently across the desktop. And when it comes to the different settings that you can apply to the panel, you have a bunch of options here. Whether you want to put it in dock mode so that it kind of frees up top-end real estate here, or whether you want to have it across the entire panel. You can obviously shift and adjust pretty much anything about the panel. Again, what I'm trying to get to here is that you still have really nice transparencies, you still have really nice animations, but you get a relatively performant desktop as you would with Ubuntu Mate. Difference being here is that we're running solely GTK3, we're running solely more up-to-date toolkits that can give you a slightly crispier and more modern feel, especially on high pixel density displays and that kind of thing. Fonts look great out of the box, window decorations look great, animations for windows are so fluid, it's unbelievable. And it feels, to me anyway, and in my testing, it feels more smooth than the GNOME release. And I've yet to comment on the KDE release because I know they're getting really, really smooth as well. You do have a desktop magnifier now, which they have landed on Magnus as their tool of choice there, so that is what it is. But here's where I want to land with Ubuntu Budgie. Honestly, if you have an up to a relatively recent hardware configuration, new Ryzen CPUs, newer laptops that need newer kernels to take advantage of power management, as is my case, then definitely go and get the Ubuntu 19.10 Ubuntu Budgie, or any of the releases, whatever your flavor is. But if you just want a rock solid desktop and you want some of the gloss that Budgie provides, without being on a release that only has 9 months of update support, then I would recommend you go grab the 18.04 release, 18.04 release, and enable the Backports Repository, and you will get most of the features that are present on the Budgie desktop here. The Budgie desktop is so potent, guys. If you haven't checked it out already, then go do it. Nowadays, the Budgie desktop is available on most Linux distributions. It originates on Solus, so if you want a gold standard Budgie desktop experience, then go check out Solus. But honestly, if you are in Ubuntu land for the software support or whatever, then Ubuntu Budgie is obviously going to be where you land. Okay, I've rambled a lot in this video, but I had a lot of thoughts about the Budgie desktop in general, and it's been a while since I've done a deep dive. So here's the question that I have for you guys. Which do you prefer, Ubuntu Mate or Ubuntu Budgie? In my head, these are the two versions of Ubuntu 19.10 that I've been most excited about and have the most thoughts on. But yeah, let me know. What's the pros and cons for you? At least for me personally, I've landed on Ubuntu Mate, and I've got reasons for that. I can unpack that. But let me know what yours are. Thank you so much for watching, and I will catch you all in the next one. Peace out, ladies and gentlemen.